Lord Frost, the man who was behind the Brexit negotiations and the foul-up over Northern Ireland and ridding us of the responsibilities and the opportunities of Dublin 3, so effectively bringing all the small boats across the Channel and the further migrant problems that involved. Lord Frost has been busy campaigning for various Conservative MPs, going down to beautiful Salcombe to support the campaign of Anthony Magnall. Anthony is a true Conservative and has stood up for our principles on many occasions in the last Parliament. So if you're in South Devon, vote Anthony Magnall, he says. But of course, he is a complete and utter pillock. Not only did he have illusions of grandeur and thoughts that he could stand for election himself and renounce his peerage, not possible. Although in principle, if he were deposed from the House of Lords, he's a non-hereditary peer, he's a life peer, and there is no mechanism for renouncing a life peerage. There is a mechanism for renouncing a hereditary peerage, but there's no mechanism at all for renouncing a life peerage. Once you've got it, that's it, unless you are denounced and your peerage is revoked by the Crown. So that would leave you under a sort of shadow, but there is no other way of getting rid of the peerage. And he didn't do his homework, he didn't look at that. So it follows that if he didn't bother looking at the paperwork concerning his own identity, he's unlikely to have bothered looking at the paperwork concerning the identity of Brexit and the responsibilities of Brexit. And this is really the problem with a huge swathe of the outgoing cabinet of the Conservative administration. They didn't do the job. They didn't bother looking at the paperwork. They didn't bother looking at the fine print. They didn't cross the T's or dot the I's because they were too lazy. Chief of these, of course, is Suella Braverman, who couldn't even be bothered to master the briefs or read the notes and was file flicking rather like an undergraduate in a tutorial or a seminar who's been partying the night before and hasn't bothered to do the work. Anyway, Lord Frost has been playing quite a major role in the election campaigning, has Lord Cameron. And neither should be bothered to do so. Neither should be doing so. Because in exactly the same way as the King doesn't vote, that's not actually banned by law. The Lords are banned from voting in a general election. They can vote in local elections or, I think, European elections. They could have voted in European elections. They cannot vote in general elections. So if they can't vote, they should shut up and take a back seat and let the rest of us actually get on with the work that matters. Because this is a time for the House of Lords to quietly get on with their own business. The House of Lords, I think, I am a great supporter of the House of Lords, but I'm not a great supporter of people who don't know their place. Lord Frost doesn't know his place. He needs to grow up, sit down, and shut up.